victory of the Jordan team in 1998. The venue that Michael Schumacher made his debut in Formula One. There is so much history here amongst the beautiful nature. 19 corners, 4.3 miles or 7 kilometres. There's over 100 metres of elevation change here with long stretches of the lap spent flat out. Look out for the bus stop chicane. The final challenge before the temporary relief of the start-finish straight. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Richards lines up on pole position, and the smooth operator Carlos Sainz completes the front row. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Leclerc, Albon, Oscar Piastri, Norris, Stroll, Liam Lawson, Gasly, Russell, Verstappen, Sargent, Bottas, Zhou, Ricciardo, Perez, Tsunoda, Magnussen, Teo Porcher, Doohan, Ocon and Dennis Hauger. And with preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track. Alongside me once again for coverage of today's race, it's none other than the great Anthony Davidson. Let's talk about Richards. What do you make of their performance so far this season?
It's been a really solid year so far. There have been some incredible standout performances, but what's really impressed me has been the consistency. With this kind of form, I'm expecting another great race today.
Okay, how was that pull away? You'll have a bit more grip than that on the start, but we need to warm the tyres properly now. Make sure you get some heat into the brakes as well. Okay, copy that. Got that, confirmed. Superb parking there, mate. Let's make sure we get the edge on the surrounding drivers as the lights go out. Keep an eye on the lights. The start sequence will begin as soon as the grid is formed. Be ready with the clutch. That's Sainz behind you now. Okay, Sainz is behind you. Okay, gap to the car behind. 2.9 seconds. They're on fresh softs. Their tyres are just one lap old. Okay, we think they've got 2 stops remaining. 2 stops remaining. And the time last lap was a 1:51.5. Confirmed. Copy. Okay, it's a static over the radio. Say it again. Okay, so we're leading our teammate by 13.7 seconds. They're on fresh softs. They're currently 17th place. Time last lap was a 1:59.9. They're in 11th. The difference is 10.0 seconds. The last lap time was a 1:56.6. Great work, that's a new fastest lap of the race. That's Sainz behind you now. Okay, car behind trailing us, 7.0 seconds. They're on fresh softs. Their tyres are 2 laps old. Okay, we think they've got 2 stops remaining. 2 stops remaining. And the time last lap was a 1:49.8. Okay, science is behind you. Okay, push, push. Gap to the car behind. 11.3 seconds. They're on fresh softs. Okay, we think they've got 2 stops remaining. 2 stops remaining. Time last lap was a 1:49.6. Science behind you now. Okay, so the gap to the car behind is 15.7 seconds. They're on fresh softs. Their tyres are 5 laps old. Okay, we think they've got 2 stops remaining. 2 stops remaining. Your last lap time was a 1:50.2. Okay, 2 stops left now, 2 stops. Your pit window will be open in 7 laps time. Okay, science is behind you. Our gap behind is 17.2 seconds. They're on fresh softs. Their tyres are 6 laps old. Okay, we think they've got 2 stops remaining. 2 stops remaining. And the time last lap was a 1:50.1. Gap to your teammate behind is 34.4 seconds. They're on fresh softs. Time last lap was a 1:50.9. They're in 10th place, and so the difference is 27.5 seconds. Your last lap time was a 1:51.0. That's Sainz behind you now. Okay, the gap behind is 21.8 seconds. Okay, they're on old softs. Okay, their tyres are 7 laps old. Okay, we think they've got 2 stops remaining. 2 stops remaining. And the time last lap was a 1 minute 50.2. Right, we have 2 stops left in this strategy. 2 more stops planned. Your pit window opens in 5 laps time. 5 laps. You're in first position, front of the pack. Okay, Sainz is behind you, and the gap behind us is 21.7 seconds. Okay, they're on old softs. Your pit window opens in 5 laps time, 5 laps, and there's 36 laps to go. Okay, so we're leading our teammate by 42.6 seconds. Okay, they're on old softs. Time last lap was a 1:51.3. Battery charge is high, let's use that overtake button a bit more. pit window now, and you're going to be on hards next time. Leclerc is behind you. We're leading the car behind by 31.4 seconds. Okay, they're on old softs. Okay, they've done 10 laps on those tyres. Okay, we think they've got 2 stops remaining. 2 stops remaining. Your last lap time was a 1 minute 50.8. Okay, roger that. Soft tyres at the next pit stop. So we're expecting rain in about 10 to 15 minutes. Okay, dry seem like the best tyre for now. So we're expecting rain in about 10 to 15 minutes. Leclerc behind. Okay, gap to the car behind. 34.3 seconds. Okay, they're on old softs. Their tyres are 11 laps old now. Okay, we think they've got 2 stops remaining. 2 stops remaining. And the time last lap was a 1:51.6. Tyre condition still looking good. In this lap, push now. Right, let's have you in at the end of this lap, please. Jack's in the pits, Jack in the pits. Albon behind. Okay, car behind trailing us, 38.9 seconds. Okay, they're on old softs. Their tyres are 13 laps old. Okay, we think they've got 2 stops remaining. 2 stops remaining. Time last lap was a 1 minute 51.5. Okay, roger that. Soft tyres at the next pit stop. Okay, expect to see some rain about 10 to 15 minutes from now. Dries definitely seem like the fastest tyre at the moment. Okay, fitting intermediate tyres next. And Verstappen's behind. Okay, push, gap to the car behind. 29.9 seconds. Okay, they're on old softs. Okay, we think they've got 2 stops remaining. Your last lap time was a 1:51.2. They're in 9th place. And the time last lap was a 2 minutes 02.9. Repeat that, I've got some interference here. Didn't receive that, repeat the message. They're on fresh softs. They're in 13th place. Time last lap was a 2:03.5. Overtake button more. It's time to utilise some of this energy. Come on. Verstappen behind you now. Okay, so the gap to the car behind is 33.7 seconds. Okay, they're on old softs. Okay, we think they've got 2 stops remaining. Your last lap time was a 1:51.6. until rainfall expected. 5 minutes until rain. Okay, dry seem like the best tyre for now. Confirming that we're fitting intermediate tyres. Leclerc is behind you. Our gap behind is 39.6 seconds. They're on fresh softs. Okay, they've got 4 laps on their tyres. We think they've got one more stop. And the time last lap was a 1:49.1. job. That was the fastest lap of the race so far. At least another 10 minutes until this rain evens out. Stay alert out there. Okay, conditions are going to keep deteriorating for 10 minutes at least. Dries definitely seem like the fastest tyre at the moment. Okay, be mindful of the conditions, the track's getting wetter. Recommend you stay out from now though, we'll be much slower if we move on to inters this early. Copy that. At least another 10 minutes until this rain evens out. Stay alert out there. Okay, dry seem like the best tyre for now. Okay mate, don't worry about the damage. I've got some new strategy options if you go and check your MFD. Okay, I think it might just be about time to come and change these tyres.
Looks like the pit crew are out in the lane and ready to perform their magic on the car. They're going to be aiming to achieve the fastest pit stop time possible.
Let's use overtake and burn off some of this energy. Norris behind, and they've entered the pit lane. They're on fresh softs. We think they've got one more stop. Time last lap was a 1 minute 55.8. tyre concerns at the moment, just focus on the driving. That's P1, Leclerc behind. They're on a fresh set of inters. Pit strategy complete. See these tyres through to the end now. 21 laps to go. And that's 26 laps of fuel remaining. They're on a fresh set of inters. They're in 12th. Your last lap time was 2 minutes 13.5. They're currently 5th, and the time last lap was 2. Okay, that last lap was a 1:00.0. Leclerc is behind you. 60 seconds plus separates you. They're on a fresh set of inters. Their tyres are 2 laps old. Time last lap was 2 minutes. Okay, that last lap was a 1:00.1. Inters look like the best tyre for now. Leclerc behind. Gap is 60 seconds plus. They're on a fresh set of inters. Their tyres are 3 laps old. Your last lap time was 2. Okay, that last lap was a 1:00.1. They're currently 5th, and the time last lap was 2 minutes. Okay, that last lap was a They're on a fresh set of inters. They're in 12th. Time last lap was a 2:01.2. We're on the right tyres at the moment. Radar suggests that this heavy rain will be with us for a while now. Please repeat, you're breaking up. You're in first position, front of the pack. Leclerc is behind you. They're on a fresh set of inters. Look after these tyres now. You want to finish the race on this compound. Okay, 18 laps to go. Are you coping okay with this weather? We're watching the amount of standing water on the road, and for now we think it's safe to stay with the Inter. Okay, no issues with tyre wear for now. Keep taking care of them. Got a lot of spare energy, okay to use your overtake button. Leclerc behind. They're on a fresh set of inters. Okay, their tyres are 7 laps old. Your last lap time was 2 minutes 02.0. They're currently 5th, and the time last lap was 2:02.5. They're on a fresh set of inters. They're in 12th. Time last lap was 2 minutes 02.8. Leclerc is behind you. They're on a fresh set of inters. Your last lap time was 2:02.0. I didn't catch that, mate. Just say it again. Okay, our best lap so far is 1:45.4. Say that again. We're having trouble receiving you. The fastest lap at this point in time is 1:45.4. We don't currently have the data for that request. Forecasts suggest the rain's going to be lightening up over the next 10 to 15 minutes or so. You should start finding more grip as we clear the standing water. It's hard to say if inters or wets are better right now. You're leading the pack, that's P1. Leclerc behind. They're on a fresh set of inters. That was our last stop, no more scheduled pit stops. Let's go. And there are 18 laps of fuel remaining now. It's still not a perfect situation, but I don't think we've got cause to move on to a different tyre yet. Okay, listen, don't worry about it, mate. It can happen to the best of us. Now look, I've put a new strategy option for you in the MFD, so go and have a look. Okay, a few drivers are fitting full wet tyres. We might need to change soon. Jack's in the pits. Jack in the pits. We don't have the data for that, I'm afraid. Here's some information on Russell for you. They've got some kind of mechanical problem. Confirmed. Pit crew will be ready with wet tyres for your next stop. Okay, we can take you this lap. Right, we're no longer sure that these tyres are the right ones. It might be time to come in and change.
Looks like the pit crew are out in the lane and ready to perform their magic on the car. They're going to be aiming to achieve the fastest pit stop time possible. Virtual safety car is ending. Maintain your pace until we get the green flags. VSC ending. Wait for the greens. There's been an incident on track, but officials aren't looking to push for a safety car right now. Just be careful. They're on a fresh set of wets. They're in 12th, and the time last lap was a 2 minutes 20.8. Leclerc is behind you. They're on a fresh set of wets. Their tyres are 2 laps old. Time last lap was a 2:18.3. Battery charge is high, let's use that overtake button a bit more. VSC deployed, the virtual safety car has been deployed. We need to give a positive delta here, slow down and maintain a positive delta. Right, drop your speed. Our delta's too low and we're going to risk a penalty. Slow your pace immediately. Okay, VSC ending. We're going green. Maintain positive delta until the green flags. Green flag, we're racing again. Let's go.
lighter now, but it's going to take a while for the track to dry out. Okay, roger that. Soft tyres at the next pit stop. You're in first position, front of the pack. Leclerc behind. They're on a fresh set of wets. Pit strategy complete. See these tyres through to the end now. Okay, we're into the last 10 laps now. The circuit's definitely looking better than it was a few minutes ago. If we could just move a bit more of that standing water, we might be able to go on to the intermediates. Laps of fuel remaining. You're leading the pack, that's P1. Leclerc is behind you. They're on a fresh set of wets. Look after these tyres now. You want to finish the race on this compound. And that's 8 laps to go. car, safety car. No overtaking, reduce your pace. Keep your delta number positive as we form up. You're in first position, front of the pack. Leclerc behind. They're on a fresh set of wets. That was our last stop. No more scheduled pit stops. Let's go. Okay, 7 laps to go. Okay, it's borderline, mate, but if I were you, I'd come in and change tyres. I'm just not sure we're on the right ones for these conditions anymore. Right, drop your speed. Our delta's too low and we're going to risk a penalty. Slow your pace immediately. Sorry, we can't provide you with that information right now. Okay, we'll fit inters on your next stop. Understood. Stopping this lap. You're approaching the safety car. You're leading, so don't pass. Stay behind the safety car. They're on a fresh set of wets. They're in 11th. Your last lap time was 2 minutes 25.8. And that's 11 laps of fuel remaining. the pack, that's P1. Leclerc is behind you. Okay, the gap behind is 46.0 seconds. They're on a fresh set of wets. Pit strategy complete. See these tyres through to the end now. Okay, just 5 laps until the end. Okay, we've got 10 laps of fuel to go, 10 laps of fuel left. Okay, I think the track's going to be drying out quite soon. Be careful you don't burn out your tyres. Okay, the safety car's coming in this lap. We'll be pacing the field in sector 3. Make sure to respect the delta until the safety car's into the pit lane. Okay, clear. Use your overtake button more. It's time to utilise some of this energy. Come on. And the gap behind us is 13.1 seconds. Leclerc behind. We're leaving the car behind by 13.1 seconds. They're on a fresh set of wets, and the time last lap was a 2:55.2. Gap to your teammate behind is 23.5 seconds. They're on old wets. They're in 11th. Time last lap was a 2 minutes 07.5. They're currently 6th, and the gap is 18.4 seconds. Your last lap time was a 2:04.9. Okay, the static over the radio. Say it again. You're in first position, front of the pack. Leclerc is behind you. Okay, gap to the car behind. 15.7 seconds. They're on old wets. Look after these tyres now. You want to finish the race on this compound. 2 laps left. Next time by will be your final lap. Final lap, push, push. Leclerc behind. Okay, car behind trailing us, 18.9 seconds. They're on old wets. Their tyres are 12 laps old, and the time last lap was a 2 minutes 04.0. Oh, superb driving. That is the race win, my friend. Well done.
What a great race then, and a magnificent victory here at the Belgian Grand Prix. Tell me, Ant, how did they manage to achieve this win?
Well, time management probably played quite a large role in the outcome of this one. As ever, it's not just about speed, it's all about maintaining that speed consistently over a stint, over a race distance. So being able to keep up the lap times while still being smooth on the controls and gentle on the tyres, that's really where the race was won today.
Welcome then to the podium, our top 3 drivers. What a great effort from them today in a very difficult race. And after this round of the World Championship, here's how things look in the Drivers' Table. Richards takes over the lead of the Drivers' Championship. Some amazing talent out there on track today, but Anthony, who would you pick as your driver of the day?
I have to give it to Richards.
It's time to see how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. The lead at the top comes down after a strong weekend from the challenging pack. After an event like that, who knows what the sport has in store for us next time? Be sure to join us again as we continue to bring you the latest excitement in Formula One.